This is a fairly easy video. We will repeat how we determine the final balance of a T account. You've seen this calculation before in class, but here it is again so that you can practice it. Let's go to the first account, which is an account receivable account. So this is an asset account. The first step we always do is we draw lines on both sides. Then we compute the sum of each side. Now in the case of the credit side, this is easy, 32,569. In the case of the debit side, it takes a little more calculation. This comes to be 79,654. And this also shows you why it might be a good idea to always bring a pocket calculator to class. The next step is that we subtract the smaller number from the bigger number and write the result on the side of the bigger number. So 79,654 minus 32,569 comes out to be 47,085. And this is the final balance of the accounts receivable account. As we would expect, it comes to stand on the debit side. Check on your cheat sheet. You will see that asset accounts usually have their normal balances on the debit side. Now let's do the same with the bank loan account. The technique is always the same. Draw the lines, compute the column total. Here it is 15,000. And then subtract the small number from the big number. So 100,000 minus 15,000 is 85,000. And the result goes on the side of the big number. So here is our final balance. This time it is a credit balance. If you check, you will see that this was to be expected because all liability accounts have their normal balance on the credit side. Finally, let's look at the sales revenue account. Sales revenues are usually increased on the credit side, so most of the time there will not be any debit entries on a revenue account. In this case, there happens to be a debit entry, and what could the reason be? The reason could be that we booked a revenue and then a customer returned a sale. So then we have to cancel the sale, and that would be a debit entry. In a more sophisticated accounting system, we would probably choose to open an extra account for sales returns. But for now, let's keep it simple and record sales returns on the sales revenue account as a debit. So, same procedure as always. The column totals, 29,410. Subtract the small number from the big number and write the result on the side of the big number, which in this case is 27,410. And if you double check on your cheat sheet, you will see that the normal balance of a revenue account usually is on the credit side. So this is all there is to it. Let's remember the words again. This is called a debit balance because it's on the debit side. This is called a credit balance, and this is actually also called a credit balance, so I only have to write it once. Credit balance. Okay, and once again, verify that you can always see where the normal balance should be. The normal balance should be on the debit side for assets, for expenses, and for the dividend account. And the normal balance should be on the credit side for liability accounts, for revenue accounts, and for equity accounts.